The legal process. When you're buying a property here, there is a pretty clear process that you follow. And I'd like now to go through that sort of stage by stage. The aim of it, of course, is that people end up with a secure purchase of a property they own with good legal title and everything else in order. I've already touched on this. This process will be very different from the process in your own country, but it is different rather than better or worse. And people do have to recognize that when you're in Spain, you have to do things the Spanish way. Let's just talk first about preparation. Before you even go to Spain to look at houses, what are the things that you should be thinking about to make your journey easier?
Well, because clients are traveling, they're going to be bringing with them the passport. That's one of the things that lawyers and agents is needed. For a copy of the passport, to have a notarized copy of the passport. Second, it's important to travel with a utility bill, a recent utility bill. It cannot be any.
This is for money laundering purposes.
For money laundering, and if they could bring with them as well some proof of incomes, income tax declarations, pay slips, bank statements. This is going to be requested by the lawyers within the process. Doesn't have to be at the very beginning, but if they travel with those documents in place, this is something that is a really good homework that is done in advance. Yeah.
And of course, talking about this question of who should be the owner of the property, getting that clear in your head before you do anything.
This is something that we can plan before traveling.
Yes.
We need to know exactly what type of property price they're looking to see. What is the purpose of the purchase, whether it's going to be a retirement home or a second home or an investment. And we need to understand as well which is the family in order to analyze the number of heirs that we could, in order to do some tax planning about inheritance tax. And in advance, before traveling over, we could already identify the best legal structure.
Yes.
And depending on that, we can give some recommendations in order to prepare the trip to achieve everything in Spain.
Yes. And also deciding whether you want a mortgage before you come and checking out whether one's going to be available.
Exactly.
So there's quite a lot of work that you can very usefully do before you ever get on the plane to come to Spain to look at houses.
Yeah.
When you come to Spain and you decide you're looking around for a house, find one you'd really like to buy, what's the next step? What's the first thing that you do?
Normally, there is a negotiation that is done by the brokers, by the real estate agencies, that they do negotiate with the vendors directly. But there are really, in this type of situation, there are two potential scenarios. One scenario in which the vendor is not prepared to enter into a negotiation until they see that there is a holding deposit with the lawyers. And therefore, the clients are coming to our office, they put down a deposit at our escrow account, and therefore, this is somehow the ticket that gives them the capacity or the ability.
It's a proof of good faith.
Exactly. And then therefore, the vendors are negotiating and really opening up which is for them the final price, knowing that they are dealing with a serious client that at least has a lawyer and there is a deposit at the escrow account of the lawyers. Other vendors, they don't mind that much. They can really negotiate about the price of the property without any deposit. And only when they have an agreement about the price of the property, also about the time frame of the deal, is when they request to see that potential buyer has placed a deposit with the lawyers.
Yes.
So these two scenarios could be happening.
And the deposit is normally fairly small, a few thousand euros.
Yeah, it has become very standard with the pass of the time, 6,000 euros, like the most common deposit in this part of Spain.
Yes.
In other parts of Spain, I know that the custom is to be working with different deposits, yes. Sometimes larger, sometimes smaller deposits. But in this region, around 6,000 euros.
And you've mentioned that the deposit is held by the lawyer in their escrow account. Very often, the estate agent will ask for the deposit. Are there any disadvantages in paying it to the estate agent instead of to the lawyer?
Sometimes some estate agencies have a listing agreement in which the vendor is committing to take that property off the market if the holding fee, if this deposit is held in the escrow of the agency. Sometimes they don't have that listing agreement, but they like this practice of doing that. So yeah, most of the clients though put the deposit with the lawyers, and in some cases we don't see that many, but in some particular cases we can see as well that due to listing agreements they put it with the agency.
Yes. Now, you've talked about estate agents. Of course, there are a number of ways in which you might come across a property, but estate agents or purchases direct from developers are by far and away the most common.
Yes, although we can say that international customers, some of them they go directly to a development,
Yes.
but we don't see that so often.
Yes.
Normally they are coming with brokers. They are coming. They really international buyers.
Yes.
Most of them buy properties using a real estate agency.
And you have also the opportunity to follow up the se vende signs that you see stuck to the outside of buildings. But if you don't speak good Spanish, that's really not going to get you very far. And some people want to buy properties that have been repossessed by banks at auctions. And again, there are lots of difficulties associated with that. It's sometimes not the smart way of buying property that it might immediately appear. As far as your law firm is concerned, you're saying that almost all of your people come via estate agents?
Yes, it's rare to see a client that bought a property with a sign of se vende,
Yes.
unless are people that have been living in Spain for a long time.
Yes.
They speak the language, and even in those cases, I have to say that in the very most of the cases, people that are resident in Spain, they use the services of a real estate agency because
Yes.
they see different options. They make the appointments. They assist them within a negotiation. Sometimes negotiations are more successful when you involve an intermediary that negotiates the deal.
Well, who has a better idea of what the true value is and all sorts of things.
Exactly.